People from behind there, can you hear me? Can you hear me, people from behind there? Yeah, you will hear me as time goes by. As you've heard from Madam, my name is Nashon Kweyu, and I'm here for the purpose of actually interacting with you and to ensure that we learn together on issues that are affecting us in school. Now, without wasting time, as we wait for the PA to come, and even if they don't, I think my voice is clear enough to be heard to each and every member who is actually present today. I'm actually going to talk about some few areas very quickly because of time, so that we can actually be in a position to understand why are we here. Now, the topic of today is academic excellence. Academic excellence is the topic of today. And in academic excellence, we are going to break the three components of academic excellence. So number one, we want to talk about content acquiring. Number two, we'll talk about, content mastering. Then number three, we are going to break down content delivery. So those are the three areas that we actually need to talk about for us to understand what is it required of you as a student. Now, we are here for the purpose of working hard, pass exam, and, go do our various courses. And before we do that, we must prepare ourselves in a way that is very much important, which will actually help all of us to meet the standard that is actually required. Now, what do we do for us actually to get there? So one of the key things that we have actually to engage in is whatever that I've mentioned. Number one is all about the content acquiring, content mastering, and content delivery. Maybe just to expound on that, on content acquiring is all about what you are supposed to do while you're in class or in school to gather information, academic information that will help you. Number two, on content mastering is all about what your mind, can accommodate and store for you to use in, different kind of, exams and or other kind of, questions that might come on your way. Then on content delivery, it's all about now you and exam here. By the end of it all, you must be examined for you to actually, qualify to a certain kind of, level of life. Now, what are the characteristics of all this that I've mentioned? That's where we are. Now, let's start with, content acquiring. A competent student, what are the characteristics or what are the behaviors that this particular student must arm himself with during this particular time? Now, on content acquiring, we are actually going to break down some 1, 2, 3 kind of points that you need to arm yourself for you, to do well in exam, for you to qualify in this particular kind of, race. On content acquiring, this is what you require. Number one, you need to be present in school. Be present in school, be present in class. Ensure that you attend all lessons required. For instance, if you are taking 7 or 8, subjects, ensure that all of them you attend. You should not miss any lesson. Ensure that you don't miss any lesson for you actually to be in a position to match this particular standard. Then number 2, of course, when you are in class, there are so many things that are required. One of the key things that are required is what you're experiencing right now. Be a good listener. Be a good listener. The teacher is actually talking. The teacher is explaining. The teacher is actually breaking down the content. Whatever you need is actually to listen and ensure that your concentration is to the standard for you to capture whatever the teacher is actually delivering. So you need to be a good listener. In listening, we learn. In listening, we understand. And also, in listening, we can be in a position to accommodate whatever that is actually being spoken out. So in this particular area, you need to be a good listener. You need to be a good listener for you to understand, for you to accommodate and store whatever that the teacher is actually breaking down. On content acquiring, we can also talk about, you need to ensure that you have the writing materials, like what some of us has right now. What some of us have right now is very important. And by the way, I was expecting that each and everyone will be having a pen and a notebook to ensure that at least you take note of each and everything that is actually, being broken down today. For those who do not have, you will actually get from your friends. So you need to have the writing materials to ensure that at least by the end of it all, you have, the references materials that will help you to understand what is this that was spoken and how was it spoken and how can I go through to remind myself about it. By doing that, it will help you to understand whatever that actually is required of you. So writing materials, it's very essential, very much essential. Ensure that you have a pen, ensure that you have a notebook. So during this particular time, ensure that you take note of each and every point that comes on your way, so that you do not forget when that particular time comes. Content acquiring. Now, all these things brings about success. All these things, very simple, that you've heard, and they are supposed to be taken very, very serious, brings about success. You see, the difference is all about, how you actually take each and everything that is spoken to you. There are those one who will take it serious, grasp it, and run with it. And there are those one who will actually take it casually. In fact, they will say, this thing has been spoken by so many people. And they take it casually. And they remain the same. Success is all about doing the obvious thing in a different way. These things are obvious. They've been spoken to us, and they will be spoken to us as time goes by. But the difference comes in how do you take it. If you take it very serious, grasp it, run with it, you are successful. But there's this one who will actually take it lightly, forget about it, and leave it there. This person, believe me, he will experience some mediocrity. Now, So that is all about the content acquiring. What about mastering? By the end of it all, mastering must actually be there. You need to master whatever that you've been actually told, whatever that has been spoken to you. And by mastering, it helps you, to remember whatever that this particular speaker, whatever that this particular teacher spoke about. And it will equip you during that particular time for delivery. So what is it that is required during mastering? During mastering, number one, you actually need to take short notes. You also need to take short notes during this particular time, during the lesson, during this particular time when the speaker is speaking, during this particular time when the teacher is actually delivering the content to you. You need to take, short notes so that you can be in a position to, digest and keep it in your memory during that particular time for delivery. You should not have a problem. So take short notes, write notes, ensure that you have clean notes. Have clean notes. Read your own notes. It's only that I forgot. I did my form for the year 2004. And believe me, the book that I had, I liked science so much. My biology book, I still have it up to date. So in other words, for you to master the content, ensure that your references materials, you have them up to date. The Form 1 exercise book that you had when you admitted in this school, you must have it until you complete your Form 4 course. Why? Because when you have them, it will help you to go through, and to remember what the teachers who've been actually, are delivering to you. But when you don't have these particular notes, there's no way you can remember what you are taught in Form 1. The book that you had in Form 1, a notebook, I'm talking of a notebook, ensure that you keep them very well. Ensure that these particular materials are well kept. And when you keep them very well, it will help you during that particular time when you need to revisit whatever you did in Form 1 and you are in Form 3, whatever you did in Form 2 and you are in Form 4. They are very key, very much key. Why? Because a time comes whereby you may forget what you are taught in Form 1. And if you don't have this material, you may not be in a position to remember what the teacher taught you. So please ensure that you have the references material with you and well kept, very clean, so that during that particular time, when you want actually to go back and refer whatever the teacher taught you, you should be in a position to do that comfortably. And by doing that, the content will be stored. The content will be mastered. Are we together? Boys, are we together? Yes, I'm talking for men of tomorrow, not even men of tomorrow, today, because you are a man. And a man, the nation is depending on you. The society is depending on you. So a nation with men who are upright, the nation is actually safe. A society with men who are very upright and sober, the society is safe. And by doing that, you will be in a position to ensure that at least all goes well. We are still on content mastering. Content mastering ensure that you participate fully in class. Participate fully in class. And with the participation, I mean listening, asking the question, answering the question during this particular session. When the lesson is on, ensure that you don't